Welcome to Tabletop Battle Adventures, D-Day, 1430 hours, Turn 29, military summary video. Main objective is in the distance, Carentan, which is currently held by the Germans. The one remaining bridge is also an objective and is in German-controlled area. Also, the river block center screen is controlled by the Germans and is open, and it's flowing this way under this bridge, under the burned out armor, through the destroyed bridge, and these green fields, 3 in a row, center screen, and this green field are all flooded. Infantry advance, no run, and no vehicles. Hedgerows block line of sight unless there is a wall running along the hedgerow, and then does not block line of sight. Let's start by going over the 506th, who parachuted in so many turns ago. Last turn they took 2 new KIA. They have 59 KIA overall in the fight. And we'll take a look at the survivors of this platoon. 2nd Medium Machine Gun Team. 1st Squad's LMG Team. 1st Squad Assistant Leader. And over on the other side of the battlefield, a few more 506 survivors. 3rd Squad Assistant Leader, Sergeant Brandon, and Colonel Sink's radio operator will start on ambush. Also, the 506 Platoon Commander, Captain Pop-Pop, will start on ambush with his radio operator. 2nd Squad Leader, Sergeant Braden. 2nd Squad LMG Gunner, who now has a 2nd Rangers, 2nd Platoon, 2nd Squad Assistant Leader acting as his loader. And that's all the 506 survivors. On to the 116th Infantry. They were making a swim into Carentan. Didn't go so well. There's only 2 soldiers still swimming that are alive. You can see that as this bridge was destroyed, the bodies and debris are floating downriver. 116th 3rd Squad Leader and soldier with the BAR still swimming toward Carentan. There are some German defenders who may be able to stop them. Let's try to find more 116th soldiers. Some more of the 116th Infantry's platoon. 3 soldiers here from 2nd Squad who've linked up with the M5 3-inch AT gun commander to act as his gun crew. They're moving the obstacles out of the road so they can wheel the gun down the road to help out with the German armor. 116th platoon guide and radio operator positioned behind the burned out half track. 2 more soldiers from 3rd Squad. These are all 116th soldiers, and they're facing off against these Germans here in the hedgerow. And we have 2 more 116th soldiers here from 1st Squad moving in from behind. 116th sniper, center screen. He'll be starting on ambush. And 116th forward observer, radio operator. The 116th forward observer called an artillery strike in last turn on this building here, where inside of there's some 6 Fallschirmjäger soldiers. We'll go over that in a moment. So before we get to the first dice of this turn, we'll be rolling for the artillery strike on the building. There's also a 116th Infantry Heavy Machine Gun Team and the 1st Squad Bazooka. And then up here, 1st Squad Leader and a soldier with the BAR. In reserve, 116th 3rd Squad Bazooka Team. That's all the survivors for the 116th Infantry. They took 5 new KIA last turn and 38 overall. They have 1 wounded soldier. Oh, speaking of wounded soldiers, also this 506 medium or light mortar loader is wounded. On to the 2nd Rangers 1st Platoon. They had 6 new KIA last turn and 29 overall in the battle. They're spread out across the battlefield. Here's one that's just been revived by Sergeant Braden. Also, the survivor here that didn't get blown up by the grenade. And riding in half-track number 3, these 4 Rangers from 1st Platoon. And that's all the survivors from 2nd Rangers 1st Platoon. So 6 KIA last turn and 29 overall in the battle. Now on to 2nd Rangers 2nd Platoon. We've got 3 soldiers here thinking about swimming across into Carentan, but didn't go so well for the previous swimmers. There's a 2nd squad or 2nd Platoon soldier here acting as a loader. This is all going to be 2nd Platoon. Here's the flamethrower team still in the fight. And I think we'll go to the reserves to see the rest of the 2nd Platoon. Oh, actually right over here, 2nd Platoon 1st Squad. 2 soldiers that exited the half-track. And inside of this half-track number 2, we have the platoon sergeant, the unpainted, 1st Squad leader, and an LMG team. They still have quite a few pins each. And that's it for 2nd Platoon. 5 new KIA last turn, 14 overall in the battle. Yeah, I looked it over. That is the last. That's all the survivors from the 2nd Rangers 2nd Platoon. So 5 KIA last turn, 14 overall. 2nd Armored Division came in here on this flank. We'll start with the company commander for 2nd Armored Division. Platoon, or company commander here, facing off against the Panzer Lehr Division's company commander and the King Tiger. And here we have a Sherman with the dozer blade attached to the front, but the turret's jammed and immobilized, so not going to be able to do very much on this flank. That's all that's intact over here. Over here near the, we went over the half-track that just unloaded some Rangers. And then there's the other half-track still in the fight that I mentioned with the other Rangers inside. And the Jackson, this is the 2nd Platoon leader. This is a Pershing, but we're running it as a Sherman, peeking around the building here. And we'll swing over here where we have a T-34 Calliope. And then right here facing off, you can see that another Pershing that we're running as a Sherman. And it's facing off up close against a Panther. Got a nice armor battle going on. And then in reserve there, the U.S. forces have the company 1st Sergeant and a Sherman. There's a little different angle. And turret is jammed on this T-34 Calliope, but not immobilized. It's going to be an epic battle this turn. So the 2nd Armored Division overall has taken with 1 new destroyed tank last turn, which was the Sherman Crocodile flamethrower tank that I took out with a Panzerfaust. And 5 of their tank overall have been destroyed. So the U.S. forces overall, 19 new KIA, including the tank last turn, and 145 overall. And there's 3 wounded soldiers lying on the field. You see the red D6s with a number. That's a wound dice, and it shows how many turns till the soldier bleeds out. At the end of every turn, reduce the dice by 1. And they had 1 save last turn right here by Sergeant Braden, saved a Ranger. And they had 16 saves overall in the fight. Move on to the Germans. We'll start with the 1058 Grenadiers, who've been here fighting the longest. 0 new KIA last turn, 31 overall. And they're all inside of this building. We'll take a look. all the survivors are in this building. And this is it. There are 4 survivors. There's the sniper, 1058 Grenadiers, center screen. He'll start on ambush. There's the 3rd section LMG gunner, and the platoon commander and radio operator still alive. Oh, actually, there is another man on the porch. That's the 3rd squad assistant leader on the balcony, I mean. And that's all the survivors. While we're here in this area, inside of this building on the 1st floor, just inside of this window center screen, is the platoon leader for 6th Fallschirmjäger. He threw a grenade out and killed these 3 Rangers lying dead here center screen this past turn. He does have a couple pin markers left, though, that he has to deal with. And moving on with 6th Fallschirmjäger, we have the platoon sergeant. Oh, I think he's the 2nd section leader. This will be all 6th Fallschirmjäger until I mention otherwise. So 2nd section leader facing off against these Rangers. Soldier from 2nd section, rifle and Panzerfaust. 2 more soldiers positioned here. 2nd section LMG team. And yes, inside of this building is 3rd section's LMG gunner, right in the ruined attic. Just the gunners in there. The loader was killed last turn. Over here into Carentan, we have the other 3rd section LMG gunner. 3rd section's leader, who's going to start on ambush, run order, move him over, have him order this LMG to open fire on the survivors. They're swimming. Also a soldier here from 3rd section with a rifle, Panzerfaust. And then inside of this building that's going to be attacked with the artillery strike. In the 2nd floor, behind the window, there's a 6th Fallschirmjäger's MMG team. And bleeding out in this building, 2nd floor, window on the left, is the Panzerschreck gunner for 6th Fallschirmjäger. But like I said, he's wounded, bleeding out. No one close enough to revive him, stop the bleeding. And all the way over here, 6th Fallschirmjäger's all over the battlefield. We have 2 soldiers from 3rd section who knocked out the flamethrower, the Sherman Crocodile tank. And 6th Fallschirmjäger has a foreign observer down with a wound, bleeding out in 4 turns. And that's all of the 6th Fallschirmjäger's survivors. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anybody. And they've taken, last turn, 3 new KIA and 31 overall in the fight. They have 2 wounded soldiers currently. By the way, when I was talking about the U.S. troops, the 116th Infantry and the 2nd Rangers, these are the survivors that came to reinforce the 506th here outside of Carentan. They were the survivors from the Omaha Beach battle I had going earlier in this epic adventure. So now on to the 916th Grenadiers for the Germans, who are the survivors from Omaha Beach who fled and came in at a random scatter dice roll. I rolled the dice, and wherever the arrow pointed is where the survivors from Omaha Beach for the Germans ended up. So this is the last of the 916th Grenadiers' 1st platoon soldiers. He is wounded and bleeding out at the end of this turn. That's it for them. 916th Grenadiers' 2nd platoon, same situation, survivors from Omaha Beach. They have a few more soldiers still in the fight. Right here we have an LMG team from their 1st section who's been causing a ruckus back here. And we have their 1st section leader in the ruined building. And the platoon commander's radio operator, but the platoon commander was killed in it was artillery strike this last turn. Or maybe it was the rocket barrage from the T-34 Calliope. I can't remember. Oh, and 6th Fallschirmjäger, I missed a unit here. Behind the building, there's the medium mortar for 6th Fallschirmjäger. And back to 916 Grenadiers survivors. Here's another first section LMG team still in the fight, center screen. And that's it for them. So they had 2 more KIA last turn and 42 overall in the entire battle. And now the Panzerlehr division. Start out, here's the Wirbelwind, who just got done causing a little damage here, mostly pin markers. The second platoon leader in the Jackson. Oh, I'm sorry. The Panther. Panzerlehr division. Traitor. And another Panther facing off here with a half track. Just the basic crew in that half track. And over here we have another half track that's moved into Carrington, deciding which way. The way the reinforcements reserves work is they can come in any table edge that's controlled by their forces. And then over here, the Stug is actually still in the fight. Got hit in the rear by a medium AT round, survived that, survived a flamethrower blast. The company commander for Panzerlehr Division is center screen in the King Tiger. And then there's the Panzerwerfer 42 center screen. And besides that, those armored vehicles, there is 1 Panzer IV in reserve. Oh, and yeah, that's it. Overall in the fight, the Panzerlehr Division, well, last turn they took 0 new destroyed vehicles and they have 4 overall. So they are up by 1 in this armor fight between the 2nd Armored Division and the Panzerlehr Division. And the Germans total for last turn, 6 new KIA, 160 overall, 3 wounded currently. No new saves. Pretty tight, pretty close game. Last turn, the Germans caught up by 13 in total KIA. So last turn, 19 new KIA for the US and 145 overall in the fight, 3 wounded. And the Germans, 6 new KIA last turn, 160 overall and 3 wounded. US forces will start with 3 units down. No, Germans have 3 units starting down. Those are all wounded soldiers. And the US 2 down, wounded. 3 US units on ambush. Here, the center screen, there's the sniper for the 116th Infantry starting on ambush. There's the 506 3rd Squad Assistant Leader with radio operator on ambush, and platoon commander for 506 with radio operator. For the Germans, there's the sniper for the 1058 Grenadiers, 2nd floor, center window. And the 6th Fallschirmjäger soldier here, 3rd section leader starting on ambush. I think I also will mention the green D6s and brown D6s represent grenades held by US forces and German forces. US green and German forces brown. The soldiers that are killed, their grenades stay by the body until they're picked up and used, or the game ends. In total, there's going to be 36 order dice in the bag for US forces and 26 order dice in the bag for German forces. At the beginning of the game, there was 100 US order dice and 77 German order dice. And in total, now there's 41 US order dice and 31 German order dice. Before we draw the first dice of this turn, we're going to address the artillery strike that I mentioned. And then we'll have ambush roll-offs between US Germans and see who will have the initiative. Whoever rolls the highest will spring their ambush first. Should be most likely US forces will have the most intense ambushes, since they have radio operators with ambush orders, which means they can call radio support to other units with radios. about 3 days from now, we'll get